What is this man doing? Okay, we start very simple. This is a very simple. We start with simple questions, then it becomes harder. So it's something back. Is it look back, watch back, or see back? Okay, and it's this action that the guy is doing. Now, don't write it in the chat. Choose the right option. Here, you get the option to touch the correct one. Okay, so you get to do the right one. So let's see, Peter from Hungary. Oh, Peter and Monica are here. Welcome, Peter and Monica. Where are you from? Where are you from? Remember, guys, don't write the answer in the chat. Tap, tap. Don't write, tap on the correct one. This is so that everyone can have the chance to answer. Right? Because if you give them the answer, then they won't be challenged. Marian from Brazil is here. Uva is here. Welcome. So very nice. So look back. Right. So when we look back, of course, we can look back but we can also look back in a figurative way. He's waiting for the Deutsche Bahn. Oh, that's the train. Peter and Monica from the Czech Republic. Oh, Česky. Česky. Mluvíte česky? Do you speak Czech? Mluvím trochu česky. I speak a little bit of Czech. I love the Czech Republic, and I live there. I'm in Mexico now, but I live in the Czech Republic. Great country. When you look back, you are looking at the past. There were some strikes in Germany. Okay, that's why. That's why. So when you look back, you look at the past. Now, this is a nice picture. What do you see in this picture? Tell me in the chat. What do you see? What do you see? So, do you see what's another way to talk about, the young years? Do you call the youngness, youngity, youth, or okay, you use? Okay, so which one is it? Youth, youngity, or youthity? Okay, which one is correct? Okay, so remember, choose the option. Okay, so normally I give you the options and then you get the list. So here, choose the list, everyone. Choose the list, vote here. Like this, I know how many of you know the answer. Okay, Lena. Welcome, Lena. Where are you from? Yes, exactly. So Common is saying that all women are beautiful. I think it's true. All people are beautiful, right? So Common says all women are beautiful. I say all people are beautiful. Ooh, that's a good one. Lena is Bosnian. Is it so? The best one is youth. So pronunciation. This is a very difficult sound for people to say. People say you've, v. People say yut, t, like a T. They see a T, so they say yut, you've. Some people say youth, like a f, f. Some people say use, z, z. No, it's you, th. Now, this is hard because many languages don't have the sound. Many languages, the tongue stays inside. Here, for this sound, your tongue needs to come out. So you need to say th, th. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm exaggerating it. Typically, say youth. Very quick. It comes out very quick, but it has to come out. Youth. So practice. Yeah, Brazilians say T, so say UT. Brazilians say UT, right? Now, UT sounds like the hootie. And the hootie, that's something else. That is something else. Um, nice to see all of you here. Welcome to class, everyone. So, this is youth. Youth. Now, many people look back on their youth. So, look back on their youth as the golden years, right? Golden years. A time of freedom, possibility, safety, and joy. So, I look back on my youth. Okay, I look back on my youth with what? Okay, so my youth was a time of, and then you choose freedom. Okay, choose possibility or safety. Now, for almost everyone, it is joy. That's why I'm not putting joy here, because it's joyful for everyone, most people. And I will explain it. I will explain this to you in just a few minutes. We got a little bit of psychology today. Okay. Anastasia from Ukraine is here. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. And Luna is here. And Luna got it right. So, congratulations. If you got it right, give yourself a high five. Give yourself a high five. What is a high five? This is a high five. Now, I give you a high five. I give you a high five like this on the screen, but you can give yourself a high five. Hand one, hand two, high five to you. All right. So, um, good. So, what do you think? It was, for many people, it's happy, what changes is that some people say, I was happy because I had freedom. Some people say, I was happy because I had safety. I was safe. And that is the main thing, right? Safety versus freedom. Okay. Safety versus freedom. Now, what's more important for you, safety or freedom? That's the other question I want to know. So, what's more important? What's more important for you? Safety or freedom? This is the infinite question, and I will explain to you why. Now, in the modern era, I'm talking about in the last few decades, people trade trade freedom with safety. They give up freedom, but they get safety, right? Conversely, in some countries, they give up safety. Oh, they give up freedom, but they get safety, or they give up safety and they get freedom. Now, for example, people say, well, David, give me an example. I will give you an example. So let's say you live in a country in Europe. So in Europe, they say, okay, we will, the police, right? The government will listen to everyone's conversation to make sure that there are no bad people. So they are listening to the conversations, they're checking social media, they are checking your messages, they have cameras everywhere. You don't have freedom because you don't have any privacy, right? But you are safe. In other countries, people are there's freedom. You can do whatever you want. Nobody, right? And there's a lot of freedom. You can do what you want. There's no government checking on you. So you have freedom, but there's less safety, right? If there's a problem, no one is going to come to save you, right? You might not. There's a little, society's a little bit more chaotic. There's more chaos. Okay, you have to protect yourself, right? When there was the big sickness a few years ago, I'm not going to say the word, because the internet doesn't like it when we say that word. But when there was that you know situation, some people say it was very serious. Some people say it was not serious. Right, when everyone was sick, but you know maybe not so many people were sick, or maybe some people were. People have different opinions about that. But there we say, no, 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 zero freedom, but you're safe. You will be safe, but there is no freedom. Other countries say, you know, you're free. You can do whatever you want. So you're free. But, if you're not safe, right? So you see, this is what I thought before. Before, freedom was more important a few hundred years ago, when we had the kings and the monarchies and all these or even 100 years ago, or 70, 80 years ago, when we had this authoritarian leaders. They said, you know people said, no, we want freedom. Freedom is the most important thing. Now we are changing. We're saying safety and comfort is more important than freedom. Okay, but when we look back on our youth, most people believe that there was a time of freedom, because we thought we could do whatever we wanted. Of course, it's not true. We will talk about this later. And safety, we thought we were safe, even though maybe we were not, but we believed that our parents or our school or our teacher or our government or whoever protected us. We were safe, right? So these are the two things there. Now, as we get older, or as we grow older? Which one is correct? Choose it in the chat. As we grow older, as we get older. We often, and then fill in the blank. So here you can write in the chat. We often what? In the present. Right? As we grow older, we often become smarter. Not always, often. So the ending in the chat, the verb get or grow in the poll. Okay, so the ending of the last part of the sentence in the chat, the beginning part of the sentence in the poll. Nice, nice, nice. So, very nice. Yeah, Marion, you know, hates dictators, right? So that's why freedom is very important, but in some countries, people say, oh, no, a dictator is okay, because the dictator will keep me safe. The dictator will protect me. So I love the dictator. Some people believe that. Some people believe that. You know, what can I say? What can I say? Maybe it's true. Maybe it is false. You have to decide. Nobody should tell you what is true, and nobody should tell you what is false. You should decide what it is. Okay. So Emma says, so here, they're both right. You're saying, David, which one is right? They're both right. Now, I'm going to use grow older. I like that one. It sounds better. Get older, it's basic. It's a little bit more basic, because we use get for everything. Get is a verb that we use it in every sentence, in many different. So it's almost like it's like the Joker. You can use it for anything. So as we grow older, we often get wiser, right? As we grow older, we often grow. As we get older, we often make more mistakes. Good, Kaylee. More mistakes or less mistakes as we grow older? If we get wiser, maybe we make less mistakes, but maybe we make more. Who knows? We often have more patience and ice. Marion says if we don't have life, we don't, you know. Yeah, in Spain, Maria says that when Franco was there was no. So when Franco was in power, there was more security, there was more safety when he was in power. When the Franco regime collapsed, there was chaos. That's often what happens. The same thing happened in the Soviet Union. The same thing happened in East Germany. The same thing happened in many places when there was a strong authoritarian government. When it collapsed, right, there was a time when there was chaos. It was the wild, wild west until a new form of a new authority comes to power. So, you know, but that's it. That's the infinite question: security or safety versus freedom. Okay. So, the two options are possible, Anastasia, but grow older is nicer. I like it more, but they're both correct. Okay. Good. Nice, nice, nice. Good. So, exactly. Right. As we grow older, many people prefer safety instead of freedom. That could be true, right? Young people, maybe young people prefer freedom, but as young people grow older, they they realize that, hey, maybe safety is more important. Right? That's the infinite question. And I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong. In some countries, I was studying. I was doing a market study of El Salvador. They have a new president, Bukele. President Bukele. He's very strict. He put something a huge. He opened the biggest prison, I think, in the world, or maybe Latin America. He put out, half of the country in prison, and now it's safe, right? He said, okay, and people are saying, oh wow, we can finally go out to the park. We can finally enjoy our lives, go to the restaurant. Before they couldn't. There was no safety, but it was the wild, wild west. The gangs, right? The criminals were free. So they were free to steal, free to hurt people. Now, President Bukele from El Salvador said, okay, boom, no more freedom. No more freedom. Okay, if we're going to get all the people, of course, it's relative freedom. You have the freedom to go to the park. You have the freedom to consume. You have the freedom to do a lot of things. That's good, right? Now, very interesting. Very, very interesting. And people in El Salvador are very happy. They're safe. They're finally safe. There's no more fear in the country, right? So, yeah, right. So it's a very interesting, very, very interesting. That's maybe a different lesson: freedom versus safety. What is more important? But here we're going to talk about the golden years. So here, as we grow older, we get wiser, but we also we also do, you know, think about the past. We think, you know, we have ideas or stories about the past. Do we say we remind about the past? Okay. Do we say we reminisce about the past? Okay. Relate about the past, or refuel about the past? Like these old men, they're sitting and they are saying, wow, when we were teenagers in 1940, 7. It was so amazing. Life was so amazing in 1947. When, or the 60s, the 70s. um, yeah, very interesting. You know, very interesting. El Salvador. I actually wanted to go to El Salvador. Maybe I'll go because I'm in Mexico now. Maybe I'll go to El Salvador and check it out for you, and then I'll tell you about it because some people say it's a miracle. It's a miracle. He cleaned it up, everything. Now there's a lot of money there. It's safe. It's beautiful. It's clean. It was like, wow, like a miracle. That's what they say. That's what economists say. So thank you, Lena. I love you too. And Anya says, with age, we get perspective. Good. Good, good. So the verb here is to reminisce. Repeat it a few times. Reminisce. Reminisce means to think about the past, but in a specific way, right? It means you indulge, you enjoy thinking about the past. You tell stories about the past. You enjoy remembering the past. Okay, thank you, Marion. Marion says, I am the best teacher. And I humbly agree. I humbly agree. Emma says we have a tendency to idealize the past. Ooh, we're going to talk about that, Emma, because we keep the good memories more than the bad. We're going to talk about that. Exactly. Yeah. For most of the time, Common says in the chat that if you're not interested in politics, it's safe. Right? Right? You are not a danger for the authorities. That's the thing. Right? So you sometimes it's important, right, to understand, you know, what game you are playing. Right? If you challenge the authorities, if you challenge the government, if you challenge the people in power, of course they're not going to be happy because they want to keep their power. Marian, humbly, humilde, humildemente, I humbly. Okay, so so it's amazing, right? You think about the past, and reminisce, Anastasia. It's think and enjoy thinking about the past, right? That's reminisce. So this is another very nice, very nice idiom here. Idiom is an expression that we use. Okay, so we call this a certain type. Do we call these pink colored glasses? Do we call them rose colored glasses? Do we call them rose tinted glasses or pink tinted glasses? Choose the correct option, everyone. And this picture actually explains it perfectly. So look, it's raining. It's raining. It's dark. It's gray. It's cold. But if you put on these glasses, then you see something else. You see colors. You see the beautiful weather. You see a different reality, right? Exactly. Exactly. So, very nice. Okay. We great comments, everyone. I like your comments. Thank you for all of your comments here. So here, this one, a lot of people are getting it wrong. Ooh, maybe I need to explain this one. So tinted, rose tinted. So a tint, it's like windows have a tint. Like we have tinted windows. So if you say, let's go to Google Images, and I'm going to show you tinted windows. So when you say tinted, you typically, have this, right? So this guy is installing a tint, right? So 70, 50, it's how much light goes in. Look at this car. So politicians, they often, tint their windows so they can have more privacy or more protection, right? So this is tint. Now, even though, right, you see here they're tinting it, even though it is pink, we say rose tinted. So rose tinted glasses. So look at this painting. I love this painting. As we get older, we often reminisce about the past, remembering it through rose tinted glasses. They're good for for small children. They can be. They can be good for a lot of people, right? It can be good for a lot of people if you're carrying things in your car and you don't want people to see what you have, get some tinted windows, right? Safety, very important, or heat. Sometimes, in some situations, right, you can block out the heat. Okay, you can block out the heat. So, as we get older, we often reminisce about the past. It's very important. We reminisce. There's something in our brain, and we're going to talk about it throughout this lesson. That what we do is that we just our brain has this mechanism where we see the past not as the way that it actually was, but we see it in a way that makes us feel good. That's why we reminisce, because our brain, to protect itself, our brain always embellishes, right? So embellish comes from bello. What JJ is not here, but we have some Spanish speakers and some Portuguese speakers. Bello, bella means beautiful. So we embellish the past because it makes us feel better, right? So, exactly, exactly. So, nice. Let's continue. Now, he's something out the rocks, right? So here, this man is doing something here with the rocks. Now, is he keeping out the rocks? Is he blocking out the rocks? Is he filtering out the rocks? Which one is right? Right. So he has this homemade. He took a bottle, right? A bottle, and he is purifying. Right. In a way, he's cleaning. Right. So he wants to make sure that in the final solution there are no rocks, only liquid. So, okay, embellish means to make more beautiful, Anastasia. Okay, to make more beautiful. Good. Yeah, and Carolina, instead of not to be more about to make more beautiful, right? Because if I am more beautiful, and sometimes I can embellish myself by becoming more beautiful, but you embellish something. You embellish a story. Let's say you went to to the beach. You went to the beach and you swam, but you can say, "Oh, I swam with dolphins," and and but really you were just it was just a normal day at the beach, but you make it sound like it was much more than what it really was. So you filter out. So you filter out the bad stuff, right? The bad stuff in this case is, are the rocks. The rocks are bad, so you filter them out. You filter out the rocks. Now here, okay, what preposition do we use here? Do we say in a long period of time, on a long period of time, over a long period of time, or through a long period of time? Meaning, when there are, let's say, years, you see, do you say, oh, I went to the best schools over this long period, in this long period, on this long period, or through this period? All right. I'll, oh, there's two thes. Let's see. Oh yeah, no, only one the. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, Anna. Just one the. Okay, not two. So, exactly, Anastasia. You give a bell to your story, right? You add some details, which is totally normal. If you tell someone a story, they will embellish it. You first of all, you tell them, "Oh, I helped a guy on the street." Then you tell that to your mom, and your mom will call her friends. "Oh, my son saved this man on the street." And then the next time it was like, "Oh, this man on the street was going to die, and my son saved his life." The next time he saved his life, and he bought him a house. And before, after a few times, then this person saved the whole world, the whole country, right? So over over a long period of time, over a long period of time, exactly. Thank you. You need to have, if you're a teacher, you need to have an imagination. You need to have an imagination in this line of work. So in our memories, the past seems simpler and happier. Right? It seems. The key word here is seems. It's not that it was, but it seems. Right? It seems to our mind today, it seems simpler and happier. But this may be due. Sometimes it was happier. I'm not saying it isn't. Many people say, but David, the past was happier. That's objective. Okay. If that's your perception, then I agree. But many other people disagree. Other people say that the past seems simpler and happier, but it may be due, meaning the reason might be, the reason um, may be due to the way our brains filter out negative experiences over time. Exactly. We always embellish. So we always embellish unconsciously. So we always embellish stories unconsciously. Okay, so common, just the word order. Great sentence, beautiful sentence, beautiful. I would just change the word order. So we always embellish. So here, in German and in other languages, we have, you can change the word order. But in English, we make sure that we always have subject, verb, object most of the time. Okay, so let's accept the cookies. Let's accept the cookies and open up our whiteboard. So great sentence. Now here I'm putting it here because it's a great example. All right, so we always embellish. So here, this right here is an adverb of frequency. So it goes before the verb. So that's good. Adverb of frequency here goes before the verb. So here, oh, it's here and then here. Good. Now, after this, then we embellish what? The object. Okay, so this right here, this is the object. So we embellish embellish. We always embellish stories unconsciously, and then unconsciously goes afterwards from the golden years, or stories from the golden years unconsciously. Ooh, okay, that's a good one. Yeah, this is challenging because it's a very nice sentence. Now this goes at the end because this stories from the golden years is actually one thing. Stories from the golden years is it's all together. So that goes here, unconsciously goes at the end. Okay, great sentence. Great sentence. Yeah, it's normal, right? Everyone embellishes their stories. Okay. Really? Okay, so let's see. Maybe this will help. Okay, does this help right here? Okay, does this help? Can you see it now? Okay, this is the biggest I can make it. This is the biggest I can make it. Okay, because it's a long sentence. Okay. Right. So that's Sonia. You said a great. You brought up a great point. Okay. And yeah, our brain does it to protect ourselves. Okay. And yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. We need to protect ourselves, and we need to stay mentally sane. Um, and and so that's what we do, right? And yes, of course, I know common, right? When you speak, it's very difficult. That's why native Germans, even native teachers who are very good at what they do, we make mistakes too. Everyone makes mistakes. So don't worry. I'm just bringing it up because it's a common thing. It's common for a lot of students to make this error. So they say, for example, today, what did there's what did they say? Oh yeah. So for example, we were in class and someone says, "There's in my house a problem." Like there is in my house a problem, and they were. Now I told them, there. What is there? There is a problem, right? The the what is there? The object. There is a problem in my house. Not there is in my house a problem, which in other languages it's possible to say, right? So, but not in English. Okay, so it's nothing against you. It's just to explain this to everyone. All right. So, Pierre, the chat doesn't work for you. Well, it looks like it's working, Pierre. We can see that you are writing, Pierre. Okay. So, good. Right. So we filter out bad experiences. It's how we stay mentally sane. That's how we stay mentally healthy. Now, okay, when you think about the past, when you think about the golden years, when you think about the good times, right? Um, right, it's when you have affection for the past. Affection for the past. What do you call this? Affection for the past, like this warm feeling for the past. Okay, is it nostalgia, or amnesia? Which one of these is it? Okay, so affection for the past. Okay, Now these are good, good, good. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Mm, okay, good, good, good. So, all right, everyone. All right, so we can see Pierre. Pierre is back in the chat. Welcome back, Pierre. We can see you. We can see that you wrote hi, everyone. So, when you have affection for the past, when you remember, wow, look at these pictures. Oh, it was so amazing. Oh, the 80s, the wonder years, the golden years, the 90s. It's totally normal. I sometimes feel the same thing. I sometimes feel like the 90s were the golden years before this, dark, dark time that we live in. Well, but you see, we are falling into the same thinking that everyone since time immemorial has experienced, which is this affection for this past, this nostalgia. Okay, so not amnesia. Amnesia is different, right? Exactly. Embellished comes from French embellir, exactly, which comes from Latin, which is bella bello. So you see, embellish, embellir, bella bello, in but you're right. It went from Latin to French to English. That was the road, right? It first started in the Roman Empire, then it went to La France, right, to the kingdoms, and then it went from Guillaume le Conquérant, William the Conqueror, who was a Norman. He was from Normandy. He was a Norman duke. He was a duke. And the Normans, they were originally Norse. They were Vikings. And the king of France, said, "Hey, we will give you this land in northern France. It's for you. Just don't stop attacking us. Stop attacking us, and we will give you Normandy." And so then the Viking, kind of Nordic, like Danish or Norwegian, they settled there. And they were very good at war. They were very good fighters. So in 1066, William the Conqueror went to, and in the Battle of Hastings, defeated the British. And that was the entrance of French into Britain. Right? Maybe before also, but that was the main one. And it was also Norman, which was different from French. It was connected to French, but it was technically in those years, 1,000 years ago, it was a different language. So, nice, nice, nice. Uh, nice. Wow. Great. All right. Nice sentences. A lot of jokes in the chat. I like your jokes. I like your jokes. Now, these people, when you say they see reality differently, or they experience reality different, or they feel reality different, do they percept, they perceive, okay, per cell, or persists. Okay, which one is correct? So all of these, well, actually, only one of them is correct. But you have these two people. They see the world differently. Same colors. One person sees it very systematically, like a machine. They see lines and arrows and straight lines. The other person sees it artistically, holistically. Right? One person is right brain, the other person is left brain. Right? So these two people, they see the same thing. Right? They see They live, they see the world, but they perceive, right? They perceive the world differently. Nice, 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 nice. So they perceive, it's when you perceive something, that's your perception. So nostalgia plays a big role in how we perceive the past, often making it seem better than it actually was. Exactly. We're talking about the rose tinted glasses, about our reality, about how our brain protects us from, negative experiences. We filter out the negative. And we also embellish because we are artists. We like to embellish things. We like to have fun. A boring story is no fun. An exciting, beautiful story, that's fun. So when we tell stories, we don't want to say tell a boring story. Oh, yeah, I watch TV every day. No, I was I was an adventurer. So it plays a big role. Now, here, which one is right? People tends or people tend? So tend comes from like a tendency. Someone, I think it was Kaylee or Sonia, I think it was Sonia maybe, said people have a tendency to. That's correct. The short version is people tends or people tend. So here, option 1 or 2, choose it in the one. Which one is right? 1 or 2. Don't write it. Okay, don't write it here. 1 or 2. Which one is right? And it means have a tendency. Okay, good, good. Okay, exactly. So, and this is tricky, especially for Spanish speakers, right? Because in Spanish, say la gente. La gente es. The people is. No, no, no. In English, people, it's plural, right? But in some languages, you have, when you talk about the people, you talk about one group. So it's one group of people is. Not in English. In English, is people are. People tend. Okay? People tend. This is a very common mistake. People have the tendency to. So people tend to idealize their youth. Somebody wrote this in the chat earlier. That you idealize, you embellish it, forgetting the challenges and difficulties they faced at the time, right? So you forget all the hard stuff. Now here, David Bowie has a song called The Golden Years. David Bowie, right? Controversial person, right? But one of the legends, one of the musical legends from the last few decades. Now, the phrase the Golden Years suggests a time of prosperity. Prosperity means, wealth or, doing well, prosperity. Okay, and joy. But in reality, each stage of life has its own unique joys and challenges. Now, we live in addition to this, we also live in an age where we idealize youth. So it's like, oh, look at all our celebrities. Everyone wants to look young. Say, oh, we glorify, we idealize young people as if it's the greatest thing. Now, it is nice, right? You don't think about so much. Maybe you're careless, you're carefree. You don't have a baby that you need to buy milk for. You don't need to pay your bills, right? Mommy pays for your bills. Daddy takes care of that. Maybe you think the whole world is amazing and oh, there are no bad people in the world. Everyone in the world is good. Everyone wants to help me. No one will ever do anything bad to me. Some people think that. But as you grow older, you might realize that there are some people who do bad things. I'm not going to say they're bad people. I'm just going to say people who do bad things. and it's reality. Now, can you become a little bit sour, right? A little bit negative, a little bit pessimistic? Maybe. Some people say you become a little more pessimistic. Maybe you do become a little more realistic. Maybe that's the difference. I have a black point on my camera. Oh, I do. Really? Oh, that is where is it? Okay. Where is it? I don't see over my right ear. Okay, my right ear around here. Okay, around here. Okay. Wow, I don't know what it is. Okay, let's see. No, I don't think. I think maybe it's the wall behind me. Yeah, maybe it's this one right here. Okay. Um good. So, next one. Looking back on our lives, we may realize that the golden years are not limited to any specific age, but can occur at any point when we feel fulfilled and content. So remember here, it's not content, same spelling, different pronunciation. Content is what you create, for example, for the internet. What I'm giving you right now, this is content. This is a lesson, right? It's content for you to consume, to learn, right? But when you feel content, you feel satisfied, happy. This is why many times some people say the golden years are actually when you are old, when you are 60 plus. There's a movie and it's shown here. It's called The Golden Years. And it talks about older people, people that are, you know, that have already retired, right? Because they're fulfilled. They're done. They already made all the money. They already had kids. There's no stress, right? Everything is behind them. They can enjoy their memories and there's no stress. That's how my parents are. My parents are the happiest people in the whole world. Because when my dad tells me when he had 5 kids, there were 5 of us, 5 children. And we went to like the most expensive schools. I mean, my dad was spending so much money on on our education, primary education, when we went to a private international school. You know, we also there was a time when all 5 of us were at university at the same time in American universities. Just to give you an idea, American universities cost between 35 and $50,000 a year. Imagine having 5 kids at university at the same time. That was my dad. So much stress. So much stress. Now, no stress. All his kids are gone. We all have jobs, we all have businesses, we're all doing well. So he can relax. He can relax. And so for him, these are the golden years. When he was 30 and he had all these babies at home, that's not those weren't the golden years for him. Those were the stressful years. Same with my mom. She had to take care of us. She had to make sure all of us were safe, and there's a lot of stress. Oh, what's going to happen to David? What's going to happen to Sophie? What's going to happen to Regina, to Gabriel, to Daniel? What's going to happen to my babies? Um, um, so yeah, it's true. We can get credit. We can borrow money. And that's what happened. America, it's all about credit. So I'm going to give you this: to have a desire for it, to yearn for it, to crave for it, is to long for. So it's important to cherish the present moment and not get too caught up in longing for the past. So enjoy the present, enjoy the past too, but don't get caught up longing for the past. Each stage of life has its own beauty and value. When we view the past as the golden years, we may overlook the progress and growth we have experienced since then. Now, the key to life, many people say, is progress. Right? When you were a baby, a kid, maybe you were carefree. Maybe you were, you felt safe, but you hadn't yet developed. Right? You hadn't yet developed. you hadn't yet grown to your fullest potential. And instead of seeing the past as a peak that we can never reach again, we can strive to make each moment golden by appreciating the present and looking forward to the future. Okay. Take care, everyone. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, everyone. Amazing lesson. If you don't have premium, make sure you get premium today. Okay. 95% off, 95% discount here if you click on this link right here. Okay. So click on this link and you can join the premium community. Okay. Perfect. Amazing, everyone. Have a great rest of the day. Take care. And also follow me. If you want to follow me in the chat, you will find some links to my different accounts and you can follow me there. Okay. So nice to see everyone. Nice to see you. Take care and all the best. Okay. All the best to you. Take care. Bye bye.